Many people who watch this channel have a real good grasp of pensions and investing. They actually add to the channel by challenging and enriching the content in the comments. Now, this adds extra dimension to the channel and it makes the content, I think, more useful. But what motivated me to set up the channel was the impact that some basic information about pensions had on me. Now, the impact came a bit later in life for me, early enough for me to make some adjustments that enabled me to retire at 55. If I can have a similar impact on even one other person, then that's enough for me. I don't mean that I want to encourage them to retire at 55. I mean, this was personal ambition for me and not something I'm suggesting is a good thing. But what is a good thing is having the basic information that will give you options. Now, these options arise from confidence in your financial position. That might be through understanding things better. Now, this confidence in your numbers will open up opportunities that might be the option to maybe change a stressful job that's adversely affecting your mental health or your physical health. It might be the option to reduce your hours to make the job more manageable or better for the family. It might be an option to take a break from work or to fulfill an ambition. I mean, only you know how better financial planning can help you make these kind of changes. Now, I think that if I were to say something here that may have a knock-on effect to help somebody to make a big change for themselves, well, what would that be? And who would be the likely person to benefit from it? So I think the person would be someone who's never really taken time to think about how they can use their personal pension to impact things. The basic advice that I would give that would be likely to have the most impact will probably be how to use the tax rules to their advantage. Now, this is basically what enabled me to move from a difficult, demanding job to a much more fulfilling and enjoyable job. And that was when I was 45. And it also enabled me to retire at 55. So let me tell a bit about my story to see if anything in there that will work for you or somebody that you want to share this video with. So when I was 35, I took some time to look at my finances and I was actually quite shocked at how much I was paying each month in income tax. I was a higher rate taxpayer, paying 40% on everything over at the time of £30,400. Now, 40% a lot. This rate, for every £1,000 extra I earned, £400 of it was disappearing forever to the tax office. So what I did is I upped my pension significantly. And I found that I was actually paying less national insurance each month. My employer had upped their own contribution as well. And the drop in the level of tax that was shown on my payslip was actually amazing. It was fantastic. Okay, so I was taking home less money, but I found that these adjustments were not too difficult to manage. I moved to a smaller car.
Leave any luggage or personal belongings unattended at any time.
I'll come back in a sec. So I moved to a smaller car. I revised my holiday destinations, etc. And as a family, we got on just as easily from A to B. And we had as many great memories on our holidays as I suspect we would have if we'd gone to some more exotic locations. By the time I hit 45, my pension statements report that I was in a really good position. So I started finding my job challenging at this point. Long hours and quite a lot of working away from home. I'll make a decision, one of two things. Either I could stick with this challenging job and retire at 52, or I could take a much easier job and then retire at 55. Now, I took the second option. I'd heard of stories of quite senior people where I worked retiring at 55 and then dropping dead a few months later. And it had been down to adrenaline that kept on going for all them years. So I was determined not to go along that route. So I moved jobs to a normal 37.5 hour week when I hit age 45. So no evening work, no weekend work. My time was my own. I geared down my job again a few years later to actually work in a home job. And then I actually finally retired when I was 55. Now, I'm glad I made these choices at age 35. I think I actually probably was a bit of a workaholic, and I wouldn't have been able to retire in a healthy state if I'd gone on at this 100-mile-an-hour job right up to retirement. So the big change for me was paying money into my pension instead of paying it to the tax office. So, well, how does that work? Well, your pension contributions are taken out by your employer before you are charged any income tax. So you're paying a smaller amount. Now, this might even drop you below a tax threshold. So maybe from higher rate tax of 40% to standard rate of 20%. So anyway, you've paid less of your salary to the tax office and you've paid more of it into your pension. Now, there are different types of pension, but the most common one now is a defined contribution pension. Now, if for you this is a company pension, the money you have paid into your defined benefit company pension will be topped up. It'll be topped up with some extra money by the company you work for. This pot of money then will grow over the years that you're paying because you and your employer keep topping it up. But it will also grow because the pension company invested for you. Now, typically, your pension will grow at a faster rate than inflation. So overall, you're making gains and you'll get generally a lot more out over the years than you paid in. Hope this was useful.